Hey YouTubers, there's some great new products coming out for the outdoors world in 2018. If you've got an interest in lightweight equipment and lightweight rucksacks in particular, then stay tuned because we've got a sneaky peeky look at a pre-production model coming from Gregory Packs for 2018. So stay tuned and I'll tell you more. Hi and welcome to this exclusive rucksack preview on the Outdoors Station. This is a new super lightweight pack which will be released in the UK March-April 2018 from Gregory, a very well-known brand in the US. It's often compared to Osprey to give you an idea of the pedigree of the brand. The reason this pack I think is quite exciting is manyfold. Firstly, it comes in various flavours for men and women. It is the Optic for men, 58 litres and 48 litres, and the Octal for women at 55 and 45 litres. But the most important thing for people who have an interest in lightweight backpacking is it only weighs just over a kilo. So I'm going to go through the main features of the bag and hopefully you'll see why I'm excited about it. So on the front of the pack, we can see it has a very generous, very strong mesh pocket. Generous enough to get your wet waterproofs, wet tent perhaps inside. Most importantly, it has a lovely retaining clip at the top, a really good security clip. So it allows you to stretch this pocket out should you wish to do so, but you have the reassurance of the safety of cinching that down and closing the pocket down. Also on the front, we have the ice axe and walking pole loops to quickly stash those away and a couple of daisy chains. So let's come round to the sides of the pack. So as you can see, it's got a pretty generous deep pocket. I would say 3/4 of the height of the pack, and that is quite attractive for getting deeper items into. Some people might put their tent in there, some people might just put their waterproofs. But it has a double access point. You have a single access point at the top and you have a second access point from the side, which means you can still access pockets on both sides while wearing the pack. This little loop, it's just missing a tab here. I've seen it on the other production models, so they forgot to put that on this pre-production model, so that would close that down and make it secure. But the important thing is here, you can either reach in for some food or munchies, or it has been taken into consideration for things like water bottles, sports bottles, should you wish to use that type of hydration system. The orange compression straps, you see it's nice thin straps as opposed to the heavy duty thick ones. This now is configured so it will go inside the pocket, so it's tucked out of the way of any item you might have in there, or if you want security you can actually rethread it so it goes over the top of the side pocket. There's a hole there for the compression strap to go through. And then the zigzag compression runs all at the top. And this is the same on both sides of the pack. So you have a nice generous pocket with dual access to get to your daily items, plus you're able to compress it down. Coming around to the front of the pack, Gregory are using what they call the Aero suspension system, which is this aluminium frame that runs down the side. This allows this to be suspended and obviously more ventilation to your back on the warm days. They've also increased the foam using dual density foam at certain pressure points and reduced it on other places, which has reduced the weight down. But if I lift this up now, we'll look at this in more detail. So we have the shoulder harness here and we have the upper cinch straps. Moving down the front, we have the chest brace, which is adjustable of course, with the obligatory clip for the hydration system. On the shoulder harness itself, on this orange tab here, we have something simple for retention of your sunglasses or reading glasses. They're always something that need to be put away all the time, and this is a useful place to know that they're safe and secure. Plus, of course, you have a few elasticated clips, which are always useful for general things like small cameras. As I said, at the base here, the padding is quite substantial with this breathing mesh over the top, which makes it more attractive. And most importantly, the hip belt is a generous padding and quite well supported on the hip belt. These packs are suggested to take around the 16 kilos maximum, which actually suits the lightweight backpacker quite well. And finally, at the bottom of the belt, you have two reasonable pockets, not the biggest pockets in the world, but certainly generous enough for the usual munchies, a small camera, phone, GPS, the usual sort of accessories. It's the same on both pockets. At the side of the hip belt, we have the side cinch straps, and that really does pull the base of the pack nicely against your hips. So that is a really good adjustment for weight transference, and obviously that's the same on both sides. Okay, so let's have a look inside the pack itself. There's a couple of interesting little features. First of all, you have your lash strap across the top that we've mentioned before, which easily just pings off, and that's great for tucking a jacket and strapping it down. Then you have a quick release system, which is very simple to open and very quick to close, which is important when it's raining, obviously. Inside the pack itself, there's one little subtlety which I think is excellent, personally. Let's just push these red items out of the way. I'm not sure if you can see it there, but my hand is in what would normally be the hydration slot. And traditionally, the hydration slot is very narrow and usually takes a 1 litre, 2 litre bladder. And personally, I find it impossible to refill the bladder once the rucksack is full. However, Gregory have created a slot which is the full width of the pack. And this slot goes to the bottom of the pack, which means when you fold down your sleeping mat system, you can shove it down the back of here. That will increase the structure of the pack, and it also gets what can be a little bulky item tucked out of the way in somewhere safe away from everything else that's in the pack. So I think that's a lovely touch. And on top of everything else, you've also got one of these little tabs where you can attach your hydration pocket to. It's at the top of the pack here where something interesting is going on. We have this central linking point which stops the lid from bouncing around, and we have these two sliders either side to allow the floating lid to be raised and lowered depending on the capacity of the pack. But also the lid is simply removable by just unwinding this tab out of the holder. The whole lid section, which contains the obligatory two pockets, there's a pocket there and a pocket inside the lid, is removable. Now there's nothing unusual about that. However, you can save weight by removing the lid and using the lash strap across the top, compress the pack down, just using it as a simple roll top. However, a lot of people prefer to have something covering that particular section because they're concerned about, obviously, water ingress. So Gregory have very nicely included in this rucksack a simple cap. And this cap replaces the lid and sits nicely over the top of the pack. The webbing straps are easily unwound from the webbing clip there. And so that would give you a pack which looked something like that. Inside the lid, Gregory have also, as pretty standard for them, included a rain cover. So looking at the weights of these particular packs, the 58 litre, the Mens Optic 58, is only 1.14 kilos complete with the rain cover and with the optional flap cover that go over the top. However, it can be stripped down by removing those and removing the lids and just be 1.1 kilos. And it's a very similar comparison with all the other packs as well. There is a saving of about 400 grams by removing these additional items, which you may or may not need. So that is a look at the Optic 58 and 48 for men, and Octal 55 and 45 for women. They come in a variety of flavours. The men's is lava grey and beacon blue, and the ladies is frost grey and monarch blue. Where do they get these names from? I do not know. However, I can see these being a really popular pack in the UK, particularly for the lightweight fraternity. Good capacity, excellent weight, just over 1 kilo, and when you consider that they add the few extras like the rain cover and the replacement cap, that's a good saving all round. And the price, well, at the moment it's fluctuating, but it's certainly beneath the £200 mark. So that is an exclusive from the Outdoor Station on the forthcoming Gregory packs.